I am Horace Popo. I live in Laget, just up the hill. I am going to read to you this morning. But before I do, I would like to introduce my wife to you, Mrs. Popo. She is the author of the story that I'm about to read to you. These are the gifts that if you answer the question correctly, you are going to get a gift. Okay? Now, when I ask the question, I need you to put your hands up. You must put your hands up. When I call on you, I want you to stand. Young man, sit properly, please. Sit properly. I need you to stand. You will tell us your name and then you will give the answer. Okay? So I'm about to begin. The name of the story is Darren and the Cricket Game. It was almost at the end of August that the Plumbers came to live in the community of Oleon. Oleon is a close-knit community located in the district of Dennery, the northeast region of our island, St. Lucia. So here comes the first question. All right? We are in Bogies. Bogies is a community. Remember, put your hands up. Which district does Bogies belong to? You need to what? Stand up. Stand up. Say your name. And what's the answer? Now I wonder, okay. I know there are 8 districts, educational districts. That's not what I'm talking about. I said Oleon is part of Dennery. So, now I'm going to give him another chance. So, Bogies is part of? Very good. Round of applause. Go and get your gift. So we continue. The popular rainforest sky rides are located just beyond the huge La Saucier Mountain that stands between the communities of Oleon and Sase. I was going to ask another question, but somebody already put out the answer. Babono. The Plumbers arrived one Sunday afternoon, and they did not seem to have had many belongings, because as soon as the van had pulled up and put the load down, it left. And the Plumbers got their belongings swiftly inside and away from the prying eyes of the villagers who passed by on the pretense of having some errand or other to carry out. There was a man and a woman and 2 children, a 10-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl. So the next question is, how many people came to live in Oleon on that day? Stand up. And what's your name? Sila. And the answer is? Very good. And Sila has won a prize. Very good, Sila. His new home, that the small ones of the community began to irritate Mr. Plummer. He had just had a breakfast of fried bakes and saltfish. "Ite bon," he muttered to his wife before going outside to sit on his balcony and relax for a while. As he came outside and sat on one of his 2 wooden armchairs, positioned just for that purpose, for him to relax on his balcony, he was just in time to see a cricket game almost in full swing. Now I want you all to listen carefully to the next paragraph. There seemed to be scores of them, when in reality there were only 27 children, ranging from as young as age 5 to 2 big boys who appeared not to be younger than 15. So here comes the next question. There seemed to be scores of them. So my question is, what is one score?
Grade 4 and grade 5.
What does one score mean? Or how many is in one score?
Grade 5. You got to there.
Oh, stand up. What's your name? Kim, what's the answer? 25. No, that's not the answer. That's close, but that's not the answer. Stand up. Your name? Uh-huh. Very good. Hands up. Go for your gift. So there was also a handful of little girls who seemed to be around the age of 9. It irritated Mr. Plummer a great deal to realize that the rest of the morning was not going to be as peaceful as he thought. And as such, he made up his mind not to show any interest in the silly cricket game. And he promised to speak to the parents about keeping them away from his gate. After all that, he still sat down and was watching the cricket match. The children were not aware that he was watching, and they continued to play with all of the energy and all of the youth of young children your age. There was one small boy sitting to the side, though. He was crying. One of the big boys, whose name was Ricky, what does one score mean? Or how many is in one score?
5. You got to there.
Oh, stand up. What's your name? Kim, what's the answer? 25. No, that's not the answer. That's close, but that's not the answer. Stand up. Your name? Uh-huh. Very good. Hands up. Go for your gift. So there was also a handful of little girls who seemed to be around the age of 9. It irritated Mr. Plummer a great deal to realize that the rest of the morning was not going to be as peaceful as he thought. And as such, he made up his mind not to show any interest in the silly cricket game. And he promised to speak to the parents about keeping them away from his gate. After all that, he still sat down and was watching the cricket match. The children were not aware that he was watching, and they continued to play with all of the energy and all of the youth of young children your age. There was one small boy sitting to the side, though. He was crying. One of the big boys, whose name was Ricky, shouted at him to stop being a crybaby, or he would give him something to cry about. But why you won't let me play Gassan? Stammered Darren to his bigger brother Ricky. And guess his brother's response? Because you're useless, that's why. I am not useless, Darren said, crying and wiping the tears from his eyes. Ricky sucked his teeth and continued picking his side. Neither side picked Darren for the cricket game. Darren was a crybaby, and nobody wanted a crybaby on their side. Ricky watched as his younger brother gave up crying and decided to sulk, hanging his head between his shoulders and doodling in the dust with a stick. Eventually, Darren looked up at his bigger brother and saw him standing at the wicket. Ricky was standing in front of the wicket. His heart was beating hard against his chest, and he was winded. Next question. Remember, hands up. What does winded mean? Stand up. Your name? Uh-huh. Very good. Winded means out of breath. Go for your gift. So as I was saying, Ricky was standing at the wicket and he was winded. He had just run hard for 2 runs, which added to the 4 he had just hit. He looked at his makeshift bat, a bat that he had made himself. It was from a very steady, a very strong coconut branch. Everybody was jealous because it was a thing of beauty, that bat that he had made. He could feel the heat of the 10:30 sun on his skin. He wished that they could find shadier grounds for their many cricket games. But it happened that Mr. Plummer's gate had the largest open space in front of it. Nobody else wanted them playing cricket in front of their homes, not even their own mothers. And they had not asked anyone about playing by the gate because they had been chased away by so many angry people before. They knew better than to attempt again. Until now, though, before the Plumbers came, the house had been empty. The house had been empty for over a year. So there was nobody to complain when they were playing cricket. Even during one of the recent games, they had sent a ball flying straight through a window and shattered the glass of the window. Of course, as soon as everybody heard the glass break, everybody took off running. Everybody took their bats, took their balls, and ran home. So Ricky is at the wicket. He dug his big toe into the dirt. It was still a bit soft from yesterday's rain, though not very soft since the 10 o'clock sun had almost dried it up again. His team, Ricky's team, depended on him a great deal. Everybody knew he was the best at hitting the runs. If he did not make the runs, then they would definitely lose the game. And not only that, but he would also have to share half of his marbles that he had collected from his friends and schoolmates throughout the year. Why did he bet on a silly game of cricket? He could see Sammy's eyes boring into him. And Sammy was thinking, if he prevented Ricky from making any more runs, then half of Ricky's marbles would belong to him. So I have mentioned the names of the captains of the 2 teams, right? What are the names of the captains of the 2 teams? What's your name? And what's the answer? Ricky is one. Think hard, think hard. I mentioned 2 names. Ricky is one of them. What's the name of the other one? Okay, give her a gift for trying. Somebody that I have not. You, stand up, give me your name. Uh-huh. Very good. Ricky and Sammy, very good. Hand of applause. Okay, so let's continue. It's going to get very interesting now. Most of the cricket games began like this. Ricky and Sammy were seldom, if ever, on the same team. They were arch rivals at school. Ricky was very serious about his studies. Sammy not so much. Sammy did not doubt that once Ricky was bowled out, he would win. The rest of Ricky's team was no good at playing cricket. That was the deal. Ricky would show his unmatched talent, by winning the game single-handedly. So he picked a very weak team because he wanted to be the star. This was not just a simple bet between two big 12-year-olds who did not look like 12-year-olds because both were quite mature. Nor was it about winning marbles, but it was about territory and dominion. Sammy looked at the sponge ball in his hand, then looked back at Ricky. So, here's the other question, because I know all of you like cricket. If Ricky is the one with the bat in his hand, and Sammy has the ball, the next question is, what is Sammy about to do? You stand up and no. Stand up.
He's tired and he's about to throw the ball.
He's about to throw or he's about to bowl the ball. All right? Very good. Prize for you. Very good. All right, so listen to now it's going to get very interesting. So Sammy looked down at the sponge ball in his hand, then looked back at Ricky. You okay? Turn. The sun was almost blinding, but he felt nothing as he stepped backward and away from behind the wicket of the next batsman, running a little and then turning around and pacing himself bit by bit. As he ran to the limit, Ricky saw the sponge ball coming rapidly towards him, low and forceful. He positioned himself and lifted the ball into a massive shot that sprung in the air as if it was on fire and made its way in the direction of Mr. Plummer's yard, as if it was a bullet heading towards its target. Mr. Plummer was motionless as the ball came towards him. And before he could dodge the ball, it hit him right between the eyes. The children watched as the ball swung away from its intended course and hit the man sitting in the chair. The blow Mr. Plummer received was not hard or painful in any way. The ball had lost much of its momentum because it had bounced off the ground before it hit him. But he was very angry nonetheless. And he sprinted from his chair to grab hold of one of the culprits. No one had expected such a quick reaction from the man. And before they had a chance to escape, he grabbed hold of Darren, crybaby Darren, 10 years old and small for his age, with a stomach. Mr. Plummer held the young boy by the waist of his khaki pants. He held him. And his khaki pants, the khaki pants were too big for Darren. He had deliberately gone for Darren. The boy who had hit the ball was too big and too fast. He wouldn't catch him, but he would catch Darren. By that time, Darren had started to cry. Huge drops of salty tears started to come down his face. His heart was beating heavily. And you know what happened? His bladder gave way. Can somebody tell me what that means? You at the back in the glasses, stand up. What's your name? What's your name? And what does his bladder gave way means? Okay, think about it. Stand up. What's your name?
My name is Michelle. His bladder gave away means that he peed on.
Very good. Hands up. Give him a round of applause. Very good. So Darren was so scared when Mr. Plummer held him by his pants. He was crying and he peed on himself. And the warm liquid rushed down his pants, wetting him, Darren, and watering the rubber slipper that Mr. Plummer was wearing. So Mr. Plummer became even more vexed. Mr. Plummer was very, very annoyed. He unbuckled the leather belt he had around his waist with his left hand while pinning Darren to the wall of his house after dragging him further into the yard. The first slap of the belt caught Darren across his back and stung as nothing had ever stung him before. With pleading eyes, he looked at the man, begging him to stop, and managed to throw in a few words despite his stammer and his overly emotional state. Please, don't lash me no more, he said. However, Mr. Plummer had no pity for the young boy, and he hit him again across his back. By this time, Darren realized that this man was not playing any games. So he made a move to free himself of the man's powerful grip. Darren twisted around enough and plunged his teeth into the man's arm. He beat him exactly like that. Give him a gift. Give him a gift for me for sure. Stand up and show everybody what he did. Exactly. He beat him and he beat him hard. Go and get your gift. Darren twisted around enough and plunged his teeth into the man's arm, biting down hard, not caring if any blood came out of the bite. He just wanted to escape. The man released his hold on the little boy and howled in pain while grabbing his arm and cringing as he saw the little teeth marks on his arm. Darren did not wait around. As soon as the man's grip loosened, he made a run for it. He ran home, out the gate and straight home, all the while tears dropping down his face from the unfairness of the punishment and the physical pain he had felt. However, by the time Darren arrived home, he had wiped the tears from his eyes and was determined to look normal so his mother would not ask him any questions. His mother would not be pleased that he was playing cricket in front of the plumber's gate after she had warned them too many times not to. Darren had made up his mind he was going to forget everything that happened, though he did bite Mr. Plummer on his arm. Anyway, a week passes by and another week passes by. So 2 weeks have passed by. And Darren is walking home from school through the usual shortcut by the main road, and he sees a man, he sees somebody hunched over by the side of the road. Can somebody, here's a question for you, can somebody show me what it means to be hunched over? You, stand up. And what's your name? What does it mean to be hunched over? Right, he's slouched, right? Oh, a gift. Go for your gift, please. And the man seemed to be in pain. Darren approached the man cautiously. The man was grabbing his stomach and he was groaning. As Darren got even closer, the man looked up. The person who was hunched over looked up. It was Mr. Plummer. Darren could still recall the lashing he had received at the hands of Mr. Plummer, and he was prepared to run because he remembered those 2 lashes of belt. Anyway, just as he was about to turn his back and run, the man looked up and said to him, "Please, please, I need help." Deep down inside, Darren was a kind-hearted boy. He realized he could not leave the man behind and run. What can I do?" Darren stuttered. The man responded, "Please," he said, "please, run to my house and tell my wife, Mrs. Plummer, that I am ill and I need to get to the hospital right away. She will know what to do," he said, groaning and crying whilst he's telling Darren that. The man stood up and tried to walk, but he collapsed on the road. Darren was scared. He could not leave him like that. So Darren pulled on the man's leg with all of the strength, on his pants leg, with all of the strength that he had, and dragged his body the best he could to the side of the road. Then Darren ran as fast as he could to the house, to Mrs. Plummer, to tell her what was happening to her husband. We'll take a short break now. I want everybody to stand up because you all seem to be getting restless. We're almost done. The story is almost done. Everybody stand. Everybody stand. Hands up. All right, everybody sit down. We're going to continue now. All right. Mrs. Plummer called the ambulance. The ambulance came, and Mr. Plummer was rushed to the OKU hospital, where he was attended to immediately. His condition had been critical. This is the next question. We still have some gifts there. Can somebody stand up and tell me what does "his condition had been critical" means? Stand up. And your name? Maya, tell me, what does it mean? Say it? Can you say it again? His condition got worse. That's one. There's a gift for her. Stand up and tell me. His condition was very bad. He was in a very, very bad condition. Very good. We'll collect your prize. After Mr. Plummer's operation, Darren and his mother went for a visit the following day. So Mr. Plummer was taken to OKU hospital. Be careful. And he had to have surgery. Darren did not like hospitals, but he was interested in seeing how Mr. Plummer was doing. When they arrived, Mr. Plummer was sitting up in bed. He was talking to Mrs. Plummer, who had been there long before Darren and his mom had arrived. She smiled when they came in and told them how happy she was that they had come to visit. Mr. Plummer seemed a lot friendlier than Darren ever remembered seeing him. Mr. Plummer looked at Darren and felt guilty. It was the same small boy he had lashed the other day that had ended up saving his life. Mr. Plummer could not stop thanking Darren and told him and his friends they could come by his gate and play cricket whenever they felt like. He would not mind as long as they were careful not to hit him again. He said the last few words with a smile. Even though Darren felt a little embarrassed by the man constantly thanking him, he also felt a lot more confident than he ever felt before. He had already told the story of Mr. Plummer to all of his friends, and even his big brother Ricky was surprised that Darren was a hero. And everybody wanted to hear the story. Darren looked at a jar beside Mr. Plummer's hospital bed. There was something looking like a caterpillar floating around in clear liquid in that jar. He pointed to the jar with a questioning look in his eyes. Darren did not like speaking unnecessarily because of his stutter. Mrs. Plummer saw Darren looking and said, "This is Mr. Plummer's appendix." Can anybody tell me what is the appendix? Stand up. Okay, she said it's a medication. Is she correct? Can anybody tell her what it is? You. Stand up. What's the appendix? Very good. Very good. Say, can you say that again? Say it loud. I want everybody to hear.
Attached to your large intestine.
So it's an organ in your body. All right? And if it's not taken care of, it can get you very, very, very sick. Very good job. Go collect your prize. Okay, so we're just about to wrap up. Appendix, Darren pronounced without stammering. Appendix. His mother laughed and she was proud. You did not stammer, Darren, when you said the word appendix, and that is good. Darren smiled, beaming with his new confidence. So somebody, we have 4 more gifts. So I've come to the end of the story. So there are 4 more gifts, right? So 4 people stand a chance of getting a gift. So the question is, what did you learn from today's story? Okay, so you have a gift already. You have a gift already. Where is your gift? You don't have a gift yet? Okay, stand up. Tell me, what did you learn from today's story? Say your name again. Quiet, please. Everybody listen. Tell me what you learned. You learned something. Tell me what you learned. Say it. You should do what? You shouldn't be a crybaby. Very good. That's one. Go for your gift. Have you received the gift? Stand up. Tell me your name. What did you learn? You should never judge a book by its cover. Very good. Go for your gift. Where is your gift? You haven't received the gift? Stand up. Let me hear you. What's your name? Very good. Anything you do will come back to you. Very good. Go for your gift. And young man, stand up and tell me. What did you learn today? Give him his gift for trying. So class, it was I really appreciated it. You all participated. I hope you all enjoyed the gifts. And I want to leave you all with the moral of the story. Something positive can come out of something negative. So continue to do your best, continue to listen to your teachers, and have a very good day. A round of applause for yourselves, please. All right? See you all. Oh.
On behalf of the Bogus RC Primary School, we would like to present you and thank you for coming to read for us. So
that's not a problem at all. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Francis. Thank you, Miss.
So it's 11:30. It's lab time. Heading back to class. Before we go, how did you enjoy?
I wonder how the audio came out. That's what I want to see. Well,
I did take a few audios with your phone just in case.
but if you're recording, it would still
But
record.
the recording didn't really go.
I'll just leave it up in the recording. It was exactly 1 week after moving into his new home that the small ones of the community began to irritate Mr. Plummer. He had just had a breakfast of fried bakes and saltfish. "Ite bon," he muttered to his wife before going outside to sit on his balcony and relax for a while. As he came outside and sat on one of his two wooden armchairs, positioned just for that purpose, for him to relax on his balcony, he was just in time to see a cricket game almost in full swing. Now I want you all to listen carefully to the next paragraph. There seemed to be scores of them when in reality there were only 27 children, ranging from as young as age 5 to two big boys who appeared not to be younger than 15. So here comes the next question. There seemed to be scores of them. So my question is, what is one score?
Grade 4s and grade 5.